What's up everyone? Chào các bạn và chào mừng các bạn đã đến với podcast Slow and Clear của What's Up English. Today I have a soft noise. I've been sneezing a bit, so you might be able to hear that in my voice. You probably definitely, but anyways, last week I put out a video about jobs and how to talk about your job. And so this week, you guys are going to learn a lot more new words about how to talk about your job, right? Because in this podcast, I'm going to tell you guys about 3 jobs that I had before I came to Vietnam. 3 jobs that I have in Canada. So, and each of these jobs has an interesting story with it. Because in one job I got fired, in another job I got scammed, and in the third job I had a pretty embarrassing moment. That's the one I will talk about last. And remember, guys, in the part 1 of the series about jobs, if you haven't watched it yet, where I give some useful vocabulary words and phrase for how to talk about your jobs. But now let's start the podcast. So my first job, I tell you guys about the first job that I ever did, and it was at a supermarket, like a grocery store, and a stationery store is where it's a store that sells food and some other things, but mostly food and light stuff for your bedroom, stuff like that. And I got this job when I think it was grade 11 or grade 10. I can't remember exactly, but I was 16 years old. So 16 years old, I think I was in grade 11. And I got this job because my friend parents owned this supermarket. And I just asked her, hey, can I work there? I need some money. Like, when you're very young, you have no money, and even have some money is pretty awesome. And then she said, yeah, you can work at our supermarket, and it was close to my house too. So I thought, awesome. So I went there. I had an interview with her dad, but it's not like wasn't so jail wasn't there wasn't too many expectation, and we will hear you, and I was hired. My job at the supermarket was to be it's what's called a service clerk, and that is but what my job was basically going around the supermarket, getting cards, the shopping carts that people use. So I would go into the parking lot and get them from the place where after they finished us. And so I would take and bring them back into the store. So when you're more customer, you could use them and cycle continue. Put them in the right place. I could help people if it's pretty, a strong level job at a supermarket. Another way to call this job is a cart boy. Some people call it cart boy, which is funny because my name is Carter, and apparently my name was a really old meaning, which is someone who push cart, who was like before we have car or stuff. Apparently if you is not sure it's true. Anyways, my job, and I was young, I was in school and high school, so I would basically go high from school, which finishes around, and then take a bus to go to the supermarket, change into my off. So young, so this job I got fired. Not because I did anything like bad, something stupid. I got fired because in the beginning, I worked in a job department as a server clerk, and I told them I can work on Monday because on Monday I switched from living at my mom's house and my dad's house, and dad's house to mom's house because my parents didn't work. And so on Monday I would do that, so I can't go on Monday. They said okay, then I work like that. So then they moved me to work in the garden center, and this was the apartment outside the parking lot where they sow plants and trees and stuff like this during the summer. I asked them they would still remember that I could not work on Monday, and I told them I can't do that. And then the lady who was chair of the staff, I was not really, and then for the week I just had no heart. So it's like they didn't offer fire me. They didn't tell me that I fired. They just stopped giving me hours. So like that, I pretty much fired. If I don't have any house anymore. So yeah, and that's I was there for about a year, and to me it's because I was there for a while with no problems, and then something happens, and then no more hours I had fired. But that's how it is at that level job they cut, and so I have experience with working and being responsible for things. So that was my first job. I was a cart boy at the supermarket, and eventually I got fired. Now here my second job, and in this job I was scammed, not by the person who employed me, not by the employer. And so this job was another, but it was only for important fruit and vegetable, and it was more expensive than the regular grocery store. So this was also from a friend who's that owns a grocery store. I don't know why, but I had a few friends who own grocery store, and they have gave me a job. So I had this job, I think, so my senior year at high school, and at this job I was a cashier. And a cashier is a person who, when you go to buy something, you give them the money and they scan your item, right? And that's how I got scammed. Another interesting thing about this job, the grocery store is in the area that had a lot of people from Myanmar and from Thailand. So that was kind of the first time that I started interacting with people from Southeast, because the guys who work in the product side is a product mean like vegetable and fruit. So the guys like cutting them up and filling them. Most of them were from Thailand, and they had only come to Canada a few years ago. So actually their English wasn't very good, and I couldn't pronounce it at the time. But that was my first time kind of interacting with Southeast Asian people, and I remember those days smiling and always really kind of friendly and happy. And they just had a good energy to them. Anyway, I had been working at the grocery store for a while, but probably as last. And this guy came up, a customer, and he looked. I think back on it, it looked supposed like she had tattoos on each. He was bad. He was maybe 14 or 15, and she had round glasses. She almost like she was wearing this round top hat, not really a top hat, but like a black hat with a round top. And she looked literally like a magazine. And I thought, okay, this guy seemed interesting. With all his tattoo on his finger, on his hand. So he came up very fairly and he bought something kind of cheap. I think it was worth a few dollars and he handed me 15 pills. And then after he gave me the $15 bill, but because when you're a cashier, people give you money, you impose the amount of money, and then the computer tells you. So after I put that amount into the computer, and he goes, sorry, she gave me, I think it's what, and he say, oh, it is here, and having a feeling not. And when I think about it, but at the time I was really confused. I was like, what? And he said, yeah, and he did some switch on the bill, and it kind of makes. But I was surprised because I just felt. And then my coworker who was next to me, she was also a cashier. She looked at it and she said, because she said, she is not very patient. And she goes, okay, well, he gave you this, and so you give him this, and I thought, but I don't know. And then she asked, really? And she like, yeah, that's all. And then I thought, okay, whatever, and so I just did it. The bicycle thing was happening, and then everything came. I still had a weird feeling. My coworker was like, and I thought, I don't know. But anyway, he left, and then the next day I was called from the O, telling me to go up into the office, and the O is my friend Dad. And so she breathing, and she said, Carter, why is the $15 missing from your case? When the making of council money last night, and I said, this guy came up, and actually what we call this scammer, and she called quick change. And a quick change artist was who does scam for small amounts of money, like actually under $1,000 or under $50, and they just find a way to make you think that you're doing a fair transaction. But in reality, you're giving them money. Again, in hindsight, too far for something like that. But yeah, I feel. So anyway, so they look at the camera. This guy, she came last year and she did the same thing to somebody else. And so this guy, she most likely goes to different subjects, and she just quickly change chick, and she make money like that. I had to pay half, they say, but I was mourning with my coworker too. I told her what happened. I said that I feel something not right, and she said, oh, like sorry, And I said, yeah, well, if you feel something, it's not good. Then just follow that and make completely sure that you're not making a mistake. Because what wasn't soon, I should recount everything and make sure that the money is correct. But for sure, if I had done that, I should the guys would and okay, here you go and this cancel because my next just and this guy is not tired of just stay there. She could probably just leave. And anyway, that's my second job, where I was scammed. My third job, and this is my third job. Is very embarrassing moment that happened with one of the owner of the restaurant. And funny enough, she was Vietnamese. Her name was Van. At the time, I just called her Van because she said, "Oh, my name is Van." Okay. So this was Vietnamese Thai fusion restaurant. So the first restaurant is a restaurant with two different types of food, Thai foods together, which means combi of mixed time. I got this job at this restaurant during the summer of my first year when I was studying. My friend recommended me and she didn't react. She just said, "I have a job at this place. And they're looking for someone you could work there during the summer. The pay is okay." I said, "Okay, let's do it." This was a Vietnamese Thai fusion restaurant. The owners were born in Vietnamese. They think they was, and let me just describe this place for you guys. The old was Vietnamese. The husband was a big Vietnamese guy, like Jack, big mustaches, ponytails, and long hair. He looked like he met, and I didn't really talk about him much because he wasn't often there. And the combination of workers at this place was very strange. The cook were from Philippines, the old were Vietnamese. The food was Thai and Vietnamese fusion. And then the server went some Vietnamese, some white, and yeah, so there was like a mix of everything at this restaurant. Alright, so this was the hardest job I have ever done, and my role at this restaurant was to basically do everything. I had to wash dish, I had to shovel the dish, like usually the dishwasher used the owner and they didn't want to hang. So I had to wash this, several days, make dessert, and what else, basically everything as well, so many things. That the time I was working there, and was what the stuff that was about. So it was start about 10 with that like one half. And I remember there was this one guy who had the same job as me, a Vietnamese guy. He was a bit older and he was very friendly, very nice. And somehow he could do all the work with Saint Evan. And me and the other friends time could do the same goals. Oh my God, with this is anything here would be sweet, but this Vietnamese kids who does that job. Well, I shouldn't call him. But he could do the job like he wasn't. She wouldn't just be like, and I was like, I don't know how to talk about, but anyway, yeah, just got. I was do a lot of things. I'm tiring, and the experiencing moment happened. I asked me to bring her a dish of chicken wing, and I said, okay, I will bring you the chicken wings too for you, and the way they put the chicken wings on the plate was to make it fancy. They like stack them up. So yours was chicken wings. They like under the shape. And so them had very good and steak, but there was only I think 6 of the small discs, and they were attacked, and I had to bring. So I was bringing her the disc, and the one on the very top filled with the disc, and it landed on the floor, and me being like young, I don't knowing. Oh no! I picked the wing up and say to her, I asked her, "Do you still want it?" And she looked at me with a face like shocked, and then she said, "What type of question like that?" And I don't want it. And then I apologize, for the dark one. But yeah, it's was really embarrassing. It's what right after that it happened, I was like, why did I ask her if she wants the wing? It's one of those things. About the night after, before I go to bed, I have a memory of asking the owner and just fell on the floor anyway. The reason of the dropping the chicken wings was embarrassing was because the old wife, like she was so good looking, and I felt like nervous when I had to service her because I don't, and I was a young kid. So yeah, that's what some other my thing is. The questions was just so like who was eating chicken wings is fell, and so anyways it's time. Yeah, got good time. And so those are basically that I had before I came to Vietnam. There was some more, but I'm not going to talk about them. These three are little interesting, and I thought to sum it up, I got fired from my first job at the supermarket. I got scammed at my second job at the grocery store. And then I had a very embarrassing moment at my third job. So guys, I think I'm going to sum up the podcast today. I hope there was a lot of words that you learned from this podcast. And next video will be a video for speaking with me to practice using the words that we learned in this podcast and in the last video. So I'm thinking again about something the decoration of my channel to make one breakthrough in English and two so I'm going to make a slow conversation video with my friend and friend's friend. So it will be like this podcast, but in the conversation. And I won't be doing more video because many people have been commenting that they like listening to me speak English, but their listening skill at the same time while learning. And to me, so that's what a little update about what's to come. I think this will be the first day that I have uploaded twice in 2 weeks. So on upload each week. So I'm happy about that, yeah. But yeah, so that will be it for this podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And I will see you next time. See you later.